Got it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are. We're talking about our tabletops today with Natalie King, who's across the pond in England, and I'm over here in the United States in Colorado. Wonderful technology we have whenever things are going well, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But we'll let Natalie kick it off because it was her idea that we do this show with lessons and learning. So we're going to take it away. Natalie, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we've had some technical issues. So it's 4 hours later to when we would normally record, which is nice. I don't have the sun shining right in my eyes, but it's pitch dark here.
Here,
but yes, I'm really excited today because we challenged you to learn something new this week. And this is something that I'm passionate about. I think learning is a wonderful tool that we have. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're learning. It's about learning something new. It can be a new language. It can be something as simple as baking a different cake and learning a new recipe. It can be anything. Learn how to juggle, learn how to knit, learn how to, do gardening, whatever it is that you want to do. Or learn a little bit about history, learn about how your brain works or how the body works. We live in a really great time where we can get information at our fingertips, literally. Google, how do you, or I want to, you can get books by Amazon, get them delivered. I know here in the UK, you get Prime, it can come the next day. Even Kindle, you can get it within seconds of buying it. So there's no excuse not to learn. There is no excuse for ignorance. So I'm going to ask you, Ernie, what have you learned this week?
Wow, I've been reading the 177 Mental Tough Challenges from Steve Seibel, and he has actually been showing me and showing the people who are willing to how to go from middle to average class to world class. And only 5% of the people here in the United States, and I'm sure it's the same thing over on your neck of the woods as well, that only 5% of the people achieve and want to be included in that world class. And we're talking about the people who have accumulated a lot based on their knowledge, and rather than just doing things and hoping things happen, they make things happen. Some people are jealous, and that proves that you are middle or working class. I used to be a working middle class, and I had money and I lost it all. And the reason why is because of my thinking. Your emotions lead to your thinking, your thinking leads to action. Now, if you want to change the results that you get, change your thinking. But if you don't, then don't. The thing is, if you're not growing and not expanding in your mind and learning, you're dying. So you're shriveling up. What do you have to say about that, Natalie?
Oh, definitely. Mind plays such an important role in your thinking, in the way that you do things. And this is something that I've been learning this week. Is I'm reading a really great book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, How to Break the Habit of Yourself. I'm not 100% sure on the title, but one thing he really does talk about is the person that we think we are is not necessarily the real person who we are. And this is about really understanding who we are, but where we come from as well. Because quite often what we do is we have that emotion or that memory of something that's happened in the past, and we live in that, and we live in that moment. So whether it is, and I think we've spoken about this before, about being a victim, and we live in that, so therefore we are not actually helping ourselves to be who we really are now. And this again comes very much to our mindset, to our thinking, to the way that we think about things and the way that we perceive the world or the environment that we're in. And I'm finding this book really very fascinating in how much power we have in changing our thinking. So it goes a little bit like you were saying, Ernie, about changing your thinking from average to wealthy, or changing your thinking from shifting from one area of your life to another area. It is all the power of the mind. It's realizing you can make that choice. And I know last week we spoke about the choices that we have. And this goes to show that if you don't make that choice, if you don't create that thought, nothing will change. And then you stay stuck. And through this book, and most probably through the book that you're reading, is how we can learn to use our mind to create those different pathways, which means we take different action because we start to believe in a different outcome for us, for ourselves. And this is a very powerful way of realizing that you don't have to stay where you are. You can shift. I mean, it could be literally the world is your oyster. Dream it, and you can achieve it if you put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put the work in, and you have to change this.
Yes. And the great thing about that, to most people out there listening, dream it and you can achieve it, and you will achieve it. Well, the part of that is I heard those words many, many years ago, but I didn't realize what that meant. It was kind of like when I was starting in black belt training that I started to do the techniques, and I wasn't there yet. And I knew I needed a mentor to show me the way, even though I knew the moves. Well, it's the same thing with dream it and you will achieve it. Okay. Dreaming of owning a big jet, Citation X that goes 0.92 miles an hour and all that good stuff. Well, you can dream it, but if you don't do the work to achieve it, that's exactly what will happen. In my program, my free program is almost ready to benchmark where you are and where you want to be. So I will have that out probably by the end of November, maybe the beginning of December. But what I'm going to do is follow that is the people that want to get in touch with me will have a 15-20-minute conversation with me. And we will determine whether or not you're ready to move forward, because I won't take your money unless I know that your mind is right and you are ready to learn. I just don't want people to say, oh yeah, I want to take your course. Well, so what? I want to be your mentor. So what? If you're not ready in your mind, and I don't think you're ready, I'll not invite you in. And, it sounds arrogant, but I'm not a person for money. I'm a person for getting results. And I want to see.
You're creating FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Say that again.
You are creating FOMO, which is the fear of missing out.
Oh,
ooh,
well,
exciting.
Yes, but people will miss out if they don't change their thinking and learn. And, go ahead and learn on your own. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read 177 mental toughness challenges of the world class, how they think. If you're ready for it. I tried to read that at the beginning of the year and it was way over my head. Now I read it 3 times and it gives you a lot of references and a lot of things to look at and read beyond that. So that in itself will keep you busy for the next year. But if you're not ready for that, get into different little books that'll help you out. T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I mean, there's millions of, put it down there, write it down in the comments or ask us. We'll have our emails below. Ask us. We will definitely help you. This is free stuff. Take it. Take advantage of it.
Piles of books that I've read and that I've reread, that I've enjoyed that. And you can ask anybody who's on a personal development journey, what books they're reading, what TED Talks they're watching, what podcasts they're listening to. It's there. Like I said to you earlier, there's no excuse to be ignorant anymore.
Exactly. Next week's show, I don't know. What do you think, Natalie? Should we talk? Do you think the audience is ready to learn about mentorship and learning on your own versus mentorship? We're not here to promote us. We're here to talk to you about the next step in your evolution of becoming a different person by thinking different. What do you think?
Well, I think it's always good to know the different choices that you have. So we can talk about mentorship, we can talk about coaching, we can talk about doing it on your own. I've done all three. I've had all three. I've done it on my own. I've had mentors, I've had coaches, and they all give you different bits. And I think it's good to know what the choices are. And then you know what your next step is. So yeah, let's talk about that next time. I think there's going to be people there who are ready for it. And like Ernie said, it's not necessarily about using us. Find somebody else who maybe you're more connected with, or find somebody else that's more local to you, or find somebody else who you've already connected with and you just weren't sure. We're here to offer you information. We're here to share our knowledge, to share our skills, give you little nuggets of gold that we can. But of course, if you want to work with us, if you have any questions for us, message us, email us, reach out to us on social media. But this is for us to just have a conversation and show you the different options that you have. Does that sort of make sense?
It makes total sense. And next week, I will give you a link of one of the coaches that I use. And he is internationally known, and he is known as the Latin Tony Robbins. Now, whether or not he is or not, but he's helped me quite a bit. And he's helped me propel in the areas that I wish to propel in. And let me know what you want. Let Natalie know. If you want to be a YouTube influencer, if you want to be an Instagram influencer, let us know. We can help you, or we can lead you in the right direction to the right people who can help you. So last week's the choices the link to that video will be in the comments below. Not in the comments, but in the description below. Next week, we'll have a new one and we'll link it to this one. But at the same time, what we would like to see you do, because we don't want you to miss out. You know, the FOMO as you talk about, what we're talking about is make sure you subscribe, not only to my channel, but to Natalie's channel. And that information will be down below. And of course, you'll see it on my channel and on hers, so you can just subscribe as you wish. So,
and of course, when you subscribe, you then get a notification when we put up a new video. And I know Ernie does a load of videos with other guests. I do videos as well separately, and we also come together and we do this. So there's a font of information just by picking our two brains.
Imagine if you can get ahead picking our brains and watching our videos, imagine what you will get when we introduce you to other people. And we could do that. Put your comments below, ask your questions. Or if you're shy, email us separately and ask your question to us. We'll definitely help you. And we'll try and answer your questions, but if we can't, we'll also say, hey, this person, and we won't name you. We'll just say, we had a message that asked this question. We don't know the answer, but we're going to try and find out. We're not going to throw smoke up you or anything like that. We're just going to give you the straight and saucy stuff. What do you think there?
I think that's great. I mean, like you said, we just come together to have a conversation, have a bit of fun, and just to share what it is that we've learned along the ways. I mean, I know your road has been really bumpy and, you know, crashed into a few walls. I have too. We have the bruises. We have the t-shirt to just prove that we've done what we are doing. We are on our own journeys, each of us, but it's about sharing. I mean, really now we need to come together as humans and share our knowledge, share our expertise, and just help each other to move forward, to progress. It's not about who's the best or anything. It's about building communities. It's about building the tribe that you want to have around you and having the right people. And this is what Ernie and I are very much focused on, is having a community of like-minded business owners who want to strive forward, who want to help others, who want to reach out, who want to be there for their own communities. And it's like a pebble. We are the pebble that's being thrown into the pond. Think of the ripple effects that go out. And think of what that can do, what you can do for your community, for your tribe, for your people. How can you be the pebble that spreads out on your ripples? And it comes back also to learning. It always comes back to learning, doesn't it? It comes back to learning new things.
Yeah.
So, Ernie, I am sure you have learned something fun this week or something new.
This week?
I don't know, this week, last week,
Last
recently?
week, it doesn't really matter. About 3 o'clock this morning when my power went out, because that's why the show is late, because my power went out in my home. And used to be a regular occurrence here, but after they fixed it, it's only gone out 3 times in the last couple of years. So who knows? When I woke up, I had an imaginary vision, shall we say, about what I'm going to do next. And after I've helped enough people reach their mental goal of becoming part of the 5%, I'd like to increase that to 6%, by the way. Anyhow, what I want to do is take this road safety game that I have developed. Now, I have a lot of different things that I plan to do with it, in apps and comic books and videos and stories and you name it, not to mention little t-shirts and stuff like that. But this road safety game, I thought of, well, maybe what I should do is have a layout, and they put it, it comes assembled, you know, you put it together, and we'll have it with and without a train set and a road set on this. And then once a month, for people who sign up for it, we would send them a kit. Remember those little model kits where you put together those cars and those airplanes and things? Well, imagine putting together a home or a building or, you know, something that's a model. And people can actually get that in the mail. The kids would go nuts over that. They'd love it. And I thought about that and I thought, well, you know, if you can do it, go ahead. So your imagination can make things happen. Look at what some of the people have done. That's what I've learned. And I let my imagination just go wild. And I'm an analytical engineer who used to teach statistics. That's easy for you to say. But nowadays, my imagination runs wild. Any parting words before we go, Natalie? What do you have to say?
Oh, I just think it sounds like you letting your inner child, inner boy come out and play with these models and everything. It sounds really exciting. One thing that I would like to share is I have 3 rescue dogs. They're all a bit old. I have a miniature Westie who is 17 and a half years old. I mean, she's tiny and she's a real go-getter. And I have a Border Terrier who's 14 years old, and I have another one who's 12 years old. So they are our senior citizens. But our one Border Terrier, he's had an ear infection. Bless his cotton socks, as we say here in the UK, he's had an ear infection. And we've been very good. We've been putting the drops in his ears, but because of the infection, because of the drops in his ears, he's as deaf as a doornail. He cannot hear anything. Now, what he's taught me, this dog has taught me, he's given me lots of lessons and I'm happy to share them. But the one thing that I wanted to share is, yes, he's deaf as a doornail and we've been told it's not permanent, which is great. But in the meantime, we're having to communicate with him differently. But what I want to share with you is his attitude. He might be deaf and he might not be able to hear us, but we have built up a trust with him. We've had him 4 years. We've built up a trust with him, but he doesn't care that he's deaf. He just loves life. He loves going for his walks. He loves his food. He loves his cuddles on the couch that he has with me. And he just loves being with us. And he's showing me or reminding me that because or whatever it is, just enjoy life. Enjoy what you have. Don't think of what you haven't got. And this comes back to gratitude and everything else. But he's really reminded me about it is, yes, he is deaf, but he's wagging his tail. He's known as the happiest dog where we live. And he's still happy. He's not depressed. He's not angry. He's not regretting anything. He's not miserable because he can't hear. He's just so happy and grateful for what he still has, for what he's got. And this has been a really powerful reminder for me, because how often do we think, oh, I wish I had that. Oh, I used to have that. Oh, I regret that. I should have done. Enjoy what you've got right now and grow on it, develop it. But look around, what have you got now that you can be grateful for, that you can really enjoy, that you can just be in the moments. And this is something that my little dog has reminded me about this week, is about being grateful for what we have right now. It doesn't mean this is where you're going to be all the time, but be grateful for what you've got and thankful for what you have right now, and be happy in this moment, because you don't know what's going to come around the corner. And just enjoy it. If you can't hear out of one ear, or if you're having a bad day, or you're just feeling miserable, just think about what is it that you've got. And this is also comes down to learning. It's about learning the art of being thankful, learning to be grateful for what we have right now, this moment. And then by all means, work towards whatever else you want. Mm-hmm. But just stay grateful for what you have.
Yes.
And this is what my little dog has reminded me this week. He's a happy little chappy. And he's as deaf as a doornail.
Yeah, that's great. And it's true that if you want to attract more to you, be happy for what you have. Live in an attitude of gratitude, as they say. So the people across the pond, I'm also offering you the chance to have that mini eFit program that I always sponsor. I have sponsored 4 of the shows, that you can have a 2-foot section of place in your home, in your apartment, or even if you travel, that you can do exercising in under $200. I don't know what the shipping is from here to over there, but I'll give you $20 off if you put in my code down below. And I will have that down below, and Natalie will have it on hers as well. So, you know, you can really exercise, and this will take care of 99% of all those high-powered, high-cost exercise equipments. And believe me, those are great, because I used to have those. I just gave away different exercise equipment to a friend of mine because I didn't need it anymore, because I used that mini eFit program, and that really helps me out. So take a look at it, see if you like it. And all I'm going to say to you is, who's been feeding your mind? Who's been putting stuff in you? Who's been putting stuff up here? Who's been feeding your mind? Goodbye, and we'll talk to you again.
Bye.